Every person within the team is so passionate about what they do. And when you're surrounded by a group of people like that, it does make a difference because you actually believe that it's possible. So I've been doing this for 19 years now. I do love real estate. I started originally in Stafford. I just remember the days where it was just picking up the phone constantly and trying to get a job and the fear of not getting a job, and eventually that progressed towards becoming a salesperson. In the early days, I had a great mentor and he taught me a lot, and then following his guidance helped me become the agent that I am today. My wife and I met when I was operating an office out of Margate in the Redcliffe Peninsula. We very quickly, when we met, found out we were pregnant, and then we needed to make some decisions for our future. So we decided to move to the south side of Brisbane. We bought a house and the career has progressed quite well. My wife is also in real estate, so that helps. She understands the long hours and kind of things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. That's kind of brought me to where I am now with Ray White at Holland Park. What I was craving was good, strong leadership that had a clear direction. I'm very passionate about real estate, but I felt that my career was just going from one day to the next. One of the things that changed for me is I wasn't going into the office as frequently as I used to. I was still enjoying the job, but kind of working out of home. The impact that COVID had on those changes, mandated at one point in time, and then when we could go back into the offices, I was excited about that. I was looking for, I guess, a promising future. Somebody that had a plan that I could kind of latch onto, so to speak, and follow. After I had my meeting with him, that made the biggest difference. He's got such a clear direction. He knows what he's doing. I don't think he sleeps. He's very motivated, and he does have a real passion for not just the industry, but for the people around him. And that's a big thing for me as well. I'm very family orientated. Everything I do is for my family, and that was a big driving force, is to have somebody that had aligned values and be able to kind of go into partnership with somebody that could kind of lead the way, and I could learn things from him as well. Oh, look, the main thing that surprised me was the speed at how things happen, and also the lack of resistance. Any idea that I would come up with that I wanted to implement or try, I had a great sounding board. All of those ideas that I had that I've been thinking about for so long that you kind of don't act on because it's difficult to implement. I found myself in a place that any idea that I had, just the speed of implementation with any of my ideas, and there was no resistance to any of the ideas that I had. Obviously, I wasn't coming up with any kind of crazy ideas. I'd had enough experience to know what makes sense and what works. I found myself in a place that I was actually almost uncomfortable with how accepting he was of these ideas, and so that I could implement, and I saw that make a big difference with my career. I guess one of the things that Avi taught me was the value of storytelling with social media, that with the team that he'd created and the great leaders that had that background knowledge, all of these great ideas and presented really well could happen really quickly. And I have seen a great difference with my social media following, and also me being quite proud of how things look when they are launched. In terms of my own personal development, I think that I'm slowly becoming a better marketer, not because of just my ideas, but having people around me that can help implement those ideas, make suggestions, put a plan into place so that these things actually happen. I find with real estate, there are so many ideas that you can have on a day-to-day basis, but if you have 6 ideas one day, will there at least be one that you implement that week? And I find that was happening more often than not by not implementing ideas. So by having somebody that I could email with those ideas, come back with a plan or an idea of what that could look like, made it a whole lot easier for me. And I'm finding that consistency within my business. The team environment is super important for me. I think that the people that you work with on a day-to-day basis do make a difference. The reality is you spend more time with them in most cases than you do your own family. So I do think it's super important to work with people that you look forward to seeing every day. I've grown my team with a great associate. That associate has actually come through the network, been working together, and it's been growing great. So I'm really enjoying that aspect. The elements of growth is leadership opportunities as well, with the training events that I've attended with AKG ongoing every month or so. There's new opportunities to learn, conferences, leadership meetings, all of those things. I do think that being able to get into a room with people that have great ideas and share helps a lot within the business. I love the concept of an offshore team. I have found one of the specific differences that we have here is having an offshore team that is employed by the business. Most of these people have been there for a few years, so they've got the experience, they know what they want, In the past, I used to have to find somebody offshore, send them an email, give them an idea of what they want. Then they provide me with a quote of $150, $200 just to come up with a design. I send a simple email here and the team knows exactly what my style is like. And normally within a couple of hours, I've got that first copy. Most of the time, it's exactly what I want. So within a couple of hours, I can come up with an idea, send it through, it comes back to me, and I can start printing it out straight away. So it's the speed of the execution and then not having to worry about that extra expense. Because one of the things that I struggled with in the past as well is you think an idea is good, but then you find out it's going to cost $150 just to get an idea of what that might look like. And if you decide to can it, you don't get the $150 back. And if you're coming up with all of these ideas, some of them you use, some of them you don't, it's an expensive way to come up with ideas and try to kind of grow your business. So I do love that aspect. It allows us to be a little bit more creative, but also the speed of getting things through makes a big difference with implementation. If you're uncertain about what your future looks like, if you don't have complete happiness with where you are, I do think it's a good idea to explore. The reason why you explore is what you're looking for is to find someone that has aligned values or find someone that can inspire you by being able to teach you things. For me, mentorship is a big part of growth as well. Finding someone that's better than you or smarter than you that you can, the old R&D, research and development, or just pure rip off and duplicate, I think is the best way to understand what can drive you. But if you don't have complete happiness with where you are, that's telling you something. Either that's you or the environment that you are in at the moment. And I do think it's worth exploring. And by going out there and finding what other options that are available, you don't really know what's out there until you can actually start investigate things. Sustainable growth all comes down to having a plan, knowing what the next year is going to look like, then breaking that down even further, month to month what you're doing, and then every 30 days. And each day you come into the office. If you don't have a plan, you're just going to be running around in circles. I mean, sure, you'll be able to do some business because you know what you need to do. Growth is year after year, compounding on what you've done with what you've learned and your business. And you should be able to have a business that supports that to help create your own brand and make sure that people are aware of what you do and how you do it. I do everything for my family. I think the things that I'm most excited about as well is being part of a cohesive team of leaders that are within the AKG group. I learn so much from everybody. And one of the things that I love about when we all get together is the excitement that we have for the next stage of our journey. Like each year, there's so much that we've got to accomplish. We have big goals, and I really believe that they're achievable purely because every person within the team is so passionate about what they do. And when you're surrounded by a group of people like that, it does make a difference because you actually believe that it's possible.